You're overcooking my grits, coach.
With Marvel Studios taking the reins on the X-Men, rumor has it that they may have a new Magneto up their sleeves.
King Kong ain't got on me!
We break down how Denzel Washington would be a perfect choice for the X-Men's most magnetic foe. Now, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige has not yet confirmed any specific plans for mutants in the MCU, other than that he has them. But that doesn't mean we can't speculate.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear about it anymore.
The X-Men will have a lucky 13 films under Fox control, with the New Mutants being an ironically titled and unceremonious end to a $6 billion franchise. Dark Phoenix's underperformance essentially retconned any future plans for the mutants, so our favorite adversaries, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, as well as their past counterparts, James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender, will almost certainly be replaced in their respective roles as Professor X and Magneto.
War has begun.
It's hard to predict exactly when the mutants might arrive, considering the crowded Marvel pipeline right now that will be kicking the MCU's Phase 4 into high gear with Black Widow in May 2020, then combining both movies as well as Disney Plus streaming series into their future storytelling canon.
I used to have nothing. And then I got this.
So it wouldn't be until the mid-2020s before the professor could open a new school for gifted youngsters. And that means their comic book origin stories introduced in the 1960s wouldn't really translate to this timeline, as Magneto, who was born in Germany in the 1920s, would be over 100 years old when he was taking on the MCU's X-Men for the first time. In the comics and movies, we saw Magneto first develop powers when his family was sent to die in a Nazi concentration camp. Mutants discover their gifts during traumatic events, and this moment was a cornerstone in the building of his character's moral gray area in essentially every modern incarnation. If the timeline is moved up to fit the present day, this moment can't take place during the Holocaust in the 1930s and 40s, and Marvel will essentially need to rethink a character who was never meant to be an outright force of evil, but a mutant who was deemed a monster by mankind before he ever had a chance to choose sides.
If you're in there, I'd like you to know that I agree with every word you said.
X-Men co-creator Stan Lee once said that he did not think of Magneto as a bad guy. He just wanted to strike back at the people who were so bigoted and racist. And that's why he and comic book writer Chris Claremont took inspiration from civil rights leader Malcolm X, while patterning Professor Charles Xavier on Martin Luther King Jr. In fact, the entire struggle of the mutants, their horrid treatment, and their segregation from mankind was a parable for the US civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s.
They don't have to worry about race. We do.
Denzel Washington was Oscar nominated for playing the minister and activist in Spike Lee's Malcolm X, so suffice it to say, Denzel's already done the research on his new role's inspiration.
Like the man said, man's rep travels.
As joyously evil and deeply conflicted as McKellen and Fassbender were with their takes on the role, Washington will bring that unstoppable charisma to Magneto, his, shall we say, magnetic presence that will charm young mutants to his separatist movement.
Maybe it'll work for you.
And rethinking the role to be a person of color can root the film in those civil rights themes that originally painted the comic book in between the panels.
We cannot think of uniting with others until we have first learned to unite amongst ourselves.
For more marvelous mutants and trending tales,